We are just over 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. Well, at least when this is posting, we're just over 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. And I'm going to continue my series here on my favorite landing spots for the top prospects of this 2022 draft class. We've talked about quarterbacks, we've talked about running backs. We're going to talk about half of the wide receivers today. I mean, there's 7 wide receivers I want to talk about here. So we're going to split it up into 2 videos. This week, we're going to talk about the top 4 guys. Next week, we're going to talk about the other 3 wide receivers. And the week of the NFL draft, we'll talk about tight ends. I'm Hutchinson Brown from Footballguys. I'm at TYFMNFL on Twitter. And before I get into these wide receivers, I want to make sure you all subscribe to the Footballguys YouTube channel. And so you'll be notified every single time either me or one of my amazing teammates over here at Footballguys post a new video. But let's get in these wide receivers here. Just let's talk about Garrett Wilson first, out of Ohio State, standing at 6 foot, 188 pounds, turns 22 years old in July. He's 21 right now. I mean, this dude is just an elite separator. I mean, he creates space with his amazing footwork, amazing route running, and his speed. Ran a 4.38 at the combine. Dude's just electric after the catch as well. Has great hands. He's just everything you want in a wide receiver, except his size. He is a bit undersized, and as a result, he's a bit less physical of a wide receiver. He's 188 pounds. And, looking, long term in terms of NFL level, I mean, that 200-pound mark is a pretty good mark to hit in terms of weight. But I think Garrett Wilson could get at least close to that by this season. I mean, if he bulks up a little bit, gets like 195 in that range, like he'll be fine. Like he's going to be good. So Garrett Wilson, my favorite landing spot for this guy is Green Bay. Just get him in there. Just slot in the Davante Adams role, take over the number 1 wide receiver role. Maybe not as many targets, but the clear number 1 receiver for the team. He's just an elite separator. He has great hands. And those are 2 things Aaron Rodgers loves in a wide receiver. He wants them to be open, and he wants them to be able to catch the ball. Because we've seen games where Marcus Valdes-Scantling drops the ball, he's not getting the ball again. Allen Lazard drops a pass, he's not getting the ball again for the rest of the game. Rodgers is frustrated with them. Garrett Wilson's not going to drop many passes, and he's going to be open all the time. He's going to make great yards after the catch. So put Garrett Wilson in Green Bay. I mean, look, I would love every wide receiver to go to Green Bay. Like, all of them would be amazing. But I just don't want to say Green Bay for every wide receiver because that'd be very boring. I want to talk about as many teams as possible. Like every landing spot for these guys are different. Every landing spot is different because I want to talk about as many teams as possible that could look to draft a wide receiver in this draft. So out of all the receivers that I want to go to Green Bay, Garrett Wilson's the one I really, really want. So now let's move on here. Let's talk about Treylon Burks, a much bigger wide receiver. Stands at 6'3", 225 pounds. I mean, he is, look, the combine he ran a 4.55. That speed does not represent his real speed. This dude's an A.J. Brown kind of athlete. I mean, he's huge, and he's also got a lot of speed. I mean, there were runs, breakaway runs, where he's running over 21, 22 miles an hour. Like, he is so fast for his size. And it may look slow on camera, and that combine speed did not look great, but I'm not buying into any of that crap. I'm not buying into the combine. Buy into what you see on the field. When this guy was on the field, getting touches, he was a monster, and he was really, really fast. And they gave him touches for a reason. They gave him manufactured touches for a reason because he can take every run to the house. So Treylon Burks, I want him in New England. Help out Mac Jones, give him a ton of manufactured touches, and just absolutely just yards after catch, go crazy, and just be the number 1 receiver for this team. Just be used all over the field, be a dominant number 1, and just help out Mac Jones in his development in the NFL. Because Mac Jones was solid in his rookie year, but he needs to take a step forward, and he needs more wide receivers to do that. Treylon Burks would be a great addition. So let's move on here. Let's talk about Jameson Williams, Alabama. He's 6'2", 190 pounds. He just turned 21. He actually is a similar wide receiver to Garrett Wilson. Both are very fast. Both are a bit smaller in terms of weight. Both are a bit skinnier. Both are very fast. Both are very quick on their feet. Great route runners. Jameson Williams, I want to see him in Buffalo. Look, Jameson Williams might not be ready for the season, okay? But that doesn't matter for Buffalo because they have Gabe Davis. They have Isaiah McKenzie. They have Dawson Knox. They have guys they can depend on outside of Stephon Diggs. But when Jameson Williams eventually comes in and he's healthy, like he is the number 2 wide receiver behind Stephon Diggs. No questions asked. I mean, he's clearly the most talented out of those number 2 wide receivers in Buffalo. And it would just give Josh Allen another deep threat to just pair with his cannon of an arm. And it would just be amazing to watch Jameson Williams and Stephon Diggs together as a duo. James Williams as the number 1 receiver in Buffalo would not, the potential is not really there for him to be a number 1 receiver if he does land in Buffalo. But with the amount of pass attempts Buffalo does, with the amount of volume that's available here outside of Stephon Diggs, Jameson Williams could absolutely be a great fantasy asset in Buffalo in that great offense. And then last receiver we want to talk about here is Drake London out of USC, 6'5", 209 pounds. He turns 21 years old in July. He's very young. He is, I love this dude. I absolutely love this guy. He is just so physically dominant. It's ridiculous. I watch film on these guys, and I'm not a huge college football follower. Like, I don't follow college football very well. Drake London impressed me the most on film, just watching him make plays. And it's not just contested catches, because he made great contested catches, but he can work all over the field. For his size, he's a very refined route runner. He's pretty quick as well. I want to see him, and it may sound gross. I want to see, and this is probably his most likely landing spot as well. Is most likely, because they could take him at number 4 overall or 10 overall. I want to see him on the Jets. With Zach Wilson, he's got a huge cannon for an arm. Just let Drake London go down the field. Zach Wilson tosses it up, and Drake London, with his amazing hands and amazing catch radius, just grab it out of the air over any defender possible. I mean, it doesn't matter if he's double covered. He's going to make plays. And pair him with Elijah Moore, who's a very quick, much smaller wide receiver, and you've got a really, really great duo there in New York. And it helps out Zach Wilson develop. And if Zach Wilson were to really take that next step, that helps out the entire offense. And I would really, really love to see that for fantasy, for Zach Wilson to take that step. And then Drake London benefits, because if you have a better quarterback in Zach Wilson, I mean, everybody gets helped out. So that's going to be it for this video today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to the Football Guys YouTube channel so you'll be notified every single time either me or one of my amazing teammates over here at Football Guys post a new video on this channel. Also, Football Guys has also just started a TikTok page. Go check it out. I think it's at Football Guys Official on TikTok. But go check it out if you do have TikTok. That's going to be all for this video today. Next week, we'll be talking about the next 3 wide receivers to wrap up my favorite wide receiver landing spots. See you guys next week.